Hello, good afternoon. So my name is Abby, and I work for the Learning Environments and Innovations at Malayan Colleges Laguna, Philippines. MCL, as we are more popularly known in the region, is a small campus with around 5,000 students, and we are located around 50 kilometers from Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines. And we're a relatively young institution. We've just celebrated our 10th year as an institution. And this year is also very special for the college because this year we've opened senior high school because the Philippines has just adopted K-12. And so we've opened senior high school. So I'll be talking about an intervention program that we've used for MCL Senior High School. But I'll do that later. I'd like to show you a short clip. So you've just seen a glimpse of our small campus, and you've seen some of our students and faculty members. And I hope that if ever you're in Manila, in the Philippines, in the coming weeks, maybe you could drop by and we'd be happy to give you a tour at MCL. So Malayan Colleges Laguna believes in outcomes-based education. And this is a picture which is a small part of the outcomes-based framework that we follow at MCL. And I love showing this picture during speaking engagements and conferences because this basically shows that the learning environment for students is very important for us. And we want to have a learning environment that would enable our students to transform into globally competitive professionals so that hopefully when they graduate from MCL, they would be useful members of the society and hopefully be able to solve industry and society's problems, maybe be part of the solution to the problems that we have. So we also believe in excellence and virtue, and this morning they were talking about excellence and equity, and we of course value that as well. So one of the key things that we wanted to do is to be able to take advantage of tools and technologies that would make teaching and learning more effective. And we know that the list of tools is long and that different institutions would have a different combination which would work for the environment that they would be driving at for their institution. However, at MCL, and I'd like to show this as a palette. This is the palette that works for us. So right now, we focus on tools that enable us to have a common learning management system for our students, and that it would enable 24/7 access to the resources, and that students would be able to have access to their progress. We also want to make sure that we're providing avenues for quick feedback and communication for the students, avenues that would focus on attaining outcomes and program and course outcomes that are valued by practitioners in their target fields. It's also important for us that we have tools for intervention, tools that would be able to early detect problematic cases and hopefully be able to address these cases, and tools that would give diverse opportunities for different types of students. Of course, many institutions also value training for faculty members, and the office is also involved in that. And lastly, which is what the talk is all about this afternoon, we want to have tools that would be able to facilitate partnerships and collaboration, not just between students, but also between teachers and students. I'll talk about that in a little while. So these are some of the tools, but I'd like to focus more on one tool that we have been using for Bio 5. Bio 5 is a core course for STEM students under the MCL Senior High School program. And this is a tool that we've been introduced to during last year's BETT. I also had the opportunity to share about McGraw tools last year. And during that time, we met the people from the BETT, from 3D Classroom Sensavis, and we just found this tool to be absolutely awesome for the teachers for senior high. And this is because during that time, we already knew that we wanted to provide them tools that would help them quickly create learning resources and tools that would be accurate and that they would, tailor fit in order to make sure that it would fit well with their courses. So some of the faculty members that joined us for senior high school are members of the industry. They just jumped into teaching and they wanted to see if the industry experience that they have would be useful for teaching. While some of the teachers who joined us are they're seasoned instructors, but they would be building their learning resources for the first time. So we wanted to provide them a tool that would be easy to manipulate. And using the 3D classroom, they have varying content from biology to chemistry, math, engineering. And the teachers are able to design their lessons around accurate 3D visuals. They can manipulate this as needed for the lesson. And since MCL has installed the 3D classroom on rooms with smart TV, the students would be able to use that and engage with other students and use this tool in order to understand the process. And we found that they really enjoyed using the 3D classroom, and I'll show you a couple of clips in a little while. So we know this that the most effective lessons are those that are experienced, those that are engaging, those that elicit action, and those that are as close as possible to real-world scenarios. Yet, even as we know this, schools in the Philippines still stick with the same format used to mass educate. However, fortunately, we have been seeing changes over the past years, and a revamp in the education seemed to be taking place. In addition, we noticed that technology has already been changing the landscape and has been providing us with tools for a modernized learning environment that promotes student-centered learning. So at MCL, the key steps would be to ensure that faculty members are trained to use these tools. And although there are teachers who are resistant and they're used to using traditional methods, I'd like to believe that at MCL we're already making progress and making sure that everyone is involved. So going back to our Bio 5 3D classroom intervention, we wanted to do an intervention that would address very high failing rates for students of biology. And we wanted to make sure that using the intervention, they are able to improve their assessment scores. And we do this through a program using face-to-face sessions during the lectures and also a 3D classroom group workshop. In fact, we dubbed this as Survive Bio 5 in 5 easy steps. So we gave them a couple of tips that students would be able to use. And I would like to show you some of the highlights for this intervention. most of the students look really bored during the lecture, and yet during the 3D classroom activity. So they had a great time manipulating the tools, and we asked them through a survey, so we collected data. And we asked the students what they thought about the 3D classroom, about its use, about how it helped them in learning, and how it has helped them in class participation. And they said that 70% said that it helped them prepare for the tests. A big chunk of the students also agreed that they were able to connect with their fellow classmates using the activity. And I think this is most important. 3D classroom helped them understand content. So a big chunk of the students also feel that way. However, some of them feel that it took too much time, but also a big portion of the attendees of the intervention said that it's okay. So 96% said that the 3D classroom was enjoyable and it's a fun way to learn. But I think what's most important is that if the activity helped them improve scores for their assessment. So we did this before the midterms assessment, and we compared the scores of the students who took Bio 5 during the previous term. So we said that it was a bit problematic because they had very low passing rates, so it's a 33% passing during the previous term. When the teachers started using 3D classroom, of course we have the same set of outcomes for the midterms, so it might not be the same test, but the same outcomes are targeted. So you have a higher passing rate for the students who took the course during the second term, and those who attended the workshop had a better chance of getting higher grades for that particular assessment. So it was wonderful, and it was something that we wanted to look into for other courses, not just biology. And in addition, we also wanted to make sure that we use this tool in order to develop course kernels. Course kernels is a project that we're working on at MCL. And basically, the project began as an effort to alleviate the difficulties encountered by teachers when they start building their blended courses. So we select the seasoned teachers, the super teachers, who have been teaching a particular course for a long time, and then they would be designing a kernel for that particular course, which other teachers should be able to use and annotate and build on and modify however they wish. But that kernel would be the base for that particular course. And in this project, the student animators, because MCL has a digital arts and design program, we have multimedia arts, and we also offer BA broadcasting. So in this project, we match student animators with mentors, and they're the ones who craft the learning videos guided by the teachers. So the design of the kernels is in line with the school's OBE path and ensures that students have a wide range of exposure within and sometimes even outside the boundaries of their chosen disciplines. The interactions with teachers are training grounds that we hope would eventually prepare them for real workplace scenarios. And this also becomes an opportunity for the mentors to work deeper with the students. So since we have launched the course kernels over the summer, we have been able to produce close to 100 learning videos for our students. In fact, 4 of our animators have already graduated, and 2 of them have been hired as animation instructors at MCL. One of our digital arts and design graduate now works as a graphic artist for the foundation that funded her schooling, and the other became the first ever graduate of our BA broadcasting program. His background in the sciences, because the student was a former engineering student, but he was having a hard time graduating. So he transferred to BA broadcasting, and he had excellent writing skills. And partly right now he's being evaluated for a position, for a research assistant position outside MCL because of his skills. So I'd like to show you some of the sample outputs for the course kernels. So these are some of the photos of our students and some of the mentors who are working with them in the project. All right. So we have the video here.
The most obvious features of an object in motion is how fast it is moving. If the runner sprints 50 meters in 8 seconds, what is his average speed, his average velocity? If he walks back to the starting point in 40 seconds.
Major tourist destinations in the world. Our discussions will focus on the processes involved in international documentations, visa requirements, health and safety issues, geographical characteristics, access routes, general facts, capital, climate, currency, cuisine, airlines, geography.
The course will be exposed to the development, implementation, and analysis of efficient data structures and algorithms. Developing small-scale applications that solve case situations presented in class will be one of the highlights of this course.
Importance, history, development, functions, processes, issues.
Welcome to MT113P. Using the position of stars, moon and the sun to navigate the seas is the highlight of celestial navigation. In this course, you will learn about the study of the solar system.
On the other hand, an algebraic expression is not a polynomial function when, first, the variable is in the denominator. Second, the exponent of the variable is not a whole number. Third, the variable is
COA mission, the Commission on Audit, entrusted by the Filipino people with the duty to undertake independent audits, aims to provide adequate, reliable and current information on the affairs of the government through appropriate audit approaches and the fair and impartial exercise of its powers so that accountability,
Service sector, examples of repetitive operations include cafeteria lines and ticket collectors at sports events and concerts. When a very high volume of non-discrete, highly standardized output is desired,
and the impact and influence that they have made in our society.
At the end of this course, you are expected to become media literate individuals.
Which means that you are able to analyze, evaluate, and create different types of media.
The officer in charge of the engineering watch shall take the action necessary to contain the effects of damage resulting from equipment breakdown, fire, flooding, rupture, collision, stranding or other cause. Welcome to Logic Circuits and Switching Theory course.
What are the Boolean functions of the following output variables? T1, T2, T3, F1, F2.
Around the Earth. New moon. Waxing crescent. First quarter. Waxing gibbous. Full moon.
All right, so you saw some of the videos that our students have produced. As you notice, it's not just limited to 2D or 3D animation, but there are also live videos that they would be producing. So this is done in partnership with the teachers, and the students learn a lot from working with the teachers. I was also personally very impressed with the animation skills of some of the students and have recommended some of them for TED Ed. Hopefully, if they get accepted, that would be another story for the BETT. Thank you very much for listening to this talk.